All right. Wow, I haven't done a driving podcast in a while. I'm terrible at this, so thank you for agreeing.
What, you're terrible at doing a podcast or talking when driving?
No, I'm terrible. Don't worry, I'm okay at talking and driving.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't go like full-on track speeds when I'm doing that.
Right.
It's like playing an instrument and singing at the same time is kind of what I equate it to.
Yeah, okay. All
and
right.
I haven't quite gotten that good. Don't worry.
You're just the Foo Fighters one-chord master. Just all my life I've been searching.
Damn, is that an insult to the Foo Fighters?
No, we love the Foo Fighters here.
I have no opinion, but Tucker does apparently.
God, this thing grips so much. What the hell?
So Tucker, aka Jericho,
Yes.
on the internet. Probably many of you here know of him from things that we worked on in the past that shall remain unnamed. And yeah, this is, well, thanks for hopping in here. I don't have the GT on me, but I think this is a fairly good replacement.
I was going to say, I feel like this one works out just as well.
It does. I really like this car. I think all around, it's just probably one of the best cars I've had.
Objectively speaking, it's probably one of the best cars in general. So it's like,
really.
You know, I mean, what I like it grew on me when I first started looking at Porsches and stuff. I was like, I kind of hate that they all look the same. Okay. But this car, however, it's like, it does stand out, but it's also not ostentatious, right? Like, it's not a Lamborghini where you're just like, hey, look at me. Mm-hmm. It's still good. It's still covert, but God damn it, it's so nice.
It's what I was actually saying in a video that I did. It might be the last video before this that goes up on the channel. Is in LA you see them all over the place, and so you only really get people looking and the thumbs up from people who are more auto enthusiasts.
Right.
And that's kind of nice, rather than just the stares and the potential in like the GT where people just drive aggressively around you.
Yeah.
Because they're like, either, I don't know, they want to pass you just to say that they passed you, or
they want you to gun it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm guilty of doing the same thing. If there's a nice car out there and I'm, driving alongside it, I'm like, hey, is that the new? Oh no.
I think that one. You were gonna say new Supra.
Yeah,
no,
it was
those,
not. It was
those aren't out yet.
I was gonna say, but yeah, just give them a tease and see if they can do a pull or something.
I never go and actually try to show off or race people at stoplights. And it doesn't happen as much as you'd probably think with people revving next to you at a light, but I just never engage in that at all.
I'm a bigger man than that.
I just don't think it's particularly safe in the majority of situations.
Well, it's not. Also, name a road in Los Angeles that you've been at a stoplight and you're like, I feel comfortable gunning it on this road. Like, there's no potholes, it's not going to dip, I'm not,
There aren't too many. No. And also, it's just, in most of the cars, you really can't throw down their full potential for more than just a second or two, maybe off of a light.
Yeah.
I mean, this light has, I guess, a bit of an open area in front of it. But
but it turns.
Yeah, even better, dude. This thing grips.
Hell yeah.
Downforce at 40 miles an hour. I love hearing about, it has so much downforce around my city driving. I'm like, no.
Can you feel the grip when you're turning into Walgreens, Jordan?
Yeah, dude, when I'm turning into that driveway. Does sound good.
It does sound good. Which is, so, what's the engine? Is it, I honestly don't know what the engine is in this car.
It's a...
How many cylinders?
Six-cylinder, flat configuration. They're all flat sixes in 911s. And I was just completely absent-minded. I said I had a V8 in my stream, and people were like, excuse me, sir, do you know what you own?
Yeah.
You don't deserve to have this. I was like, sorry,
that's my favorite, is when somebody's like, yeah, what's the wheelbase on that thing, fake fan? It's like, well, I own it, so I don't why are you judging? The gatekeeping in the car community is pretty high.
There is. I've seen a decent amount in comments on videos. It doesn't bother me. It's fine.
Right.
But it's oftentimes it'll be along the lines of, have you ever built a car?
Oh my. Well, no, I haven't. Just like, I'm a music fan, but I haven't made music, Right. I suck at making music, but I can identify good music. It's like, that. Why? Come on, let me enjoy stuff.
And I mean, dude, there are some channels out there that are crushing it right now with taking salvage insurance sold cars, and restoring them.
Oh yeah.
And getting just such huge viewership. It almost is tempting to do that. Go to like a salvage auction and pick up a supercar that's been wrecked and then try to bring it back to life.
I am guilty of watching many of the. I bought the cheapest X in my state, and it's like I bought an $80,000 Aventador that has water damage, and I'm like, well, that's not that bad. Like,
I don't know what goes into fixing it.
Neither do
personally. I'm happy to admit to most people, I don't know that much about internals. I know the basics of how a car works, but when it comes to like what little components can be swapped out in order to add more power and what goes into flashing and ECU in order to allow the car to produce more power, I just
hit square in Forza. That's like the same thing. I'm like, I don't know if dipping the tire pressure in my rear tires is really going to help me out in this race, but like Forza tells me it will. So
that was actually the other week I got invited to this Michelin event.
Yeah, I saw.
They were demoing this product there that I think is out now. I'm waiting for them to send me a set of tires because it requires a new set of tires that have this sensor insert into them. But what they do is as you drive around the track, it gives you a recommendation next time you pull into the pits on drop the tire pressure in each tire by X amount. That's so cool. And so like usually when I go out to the track, I'll drop it by like, I don't know, 5 or 6 PSI per tire. And it ended up saying when I was trying this thing out to drop tires by like 8 to 10 or something. So like way more than I would have anticipated.
I was going to say,
you can certainly feel the result because 10 PSI is quite a bit. But it certainly feels like it grips a lot better, especially through corners.
Technology is nuts, but it's going to be nuts too. I mean, I can't wait for the people who we already have it with like the PDK, So it's like you're going to be able. It shifts faster than you could ever shift, right? Yep. So you already have the people that are like, I don't care how fast it shifts, like give me manual and let me do it my way. There's going to be that same group of people 10 years from now going like, I don't care if I can, fine tune my car perfectly. Like I want to do it by hand. I want to,
Well, what's funny is that in another 10 years, it's going to be people who are like, I just want my PDK.
Yeah. Or
because it's going to be all self-driving Teslas and stuff.
I just want to be able to drive the car. Well, what was it? Will Smith, iRobot. He when they debuted the R8, he's driving around in it, and it's self-driving. And then he takes manual control, and the car's like, this is illegal.
Right.
And he's like, well, I'm a police officer. And I was like, oh, well, what's the point then,
it's going to be, if you have the ability to drive a car, it's going to be like some strange lost skill in another
driving manual
40 years time. Something like that.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do with like emissions and all that.
Well, I will say that after seeing Tesla's self-driving presentation in the Model 3 the other day, that's exciting. I'm tempted to do that just because it would be nice when you have a place that you have to go.
But you don't actually really want to.
It's like, if I have to get to downtown and it's not for the sake of a car show,
right?
There is no pleasant way to get from my house to downtown LA.
Or anywhere. There's no pleasant way to just get to downtown,
Downtown is the worst, though.
It is.
And
I can agree.
So, unless I have to get there in order to display a car at the auto show where I have to take that car,
right?
Like, it would be nice kind of just to zone out and not have to worry about getting there. And I think that would be cool. I would still probably drive this most of the time, but it would be kind of for those specific type trips where I end up doing the Tesla.
Well, okay, so my question would be why not Uber? It's the same thing. I mean, not as safe, not safe at all. However, same thing. You just get in a car and you go where you're going. Like I will not drive anywhere that I just basically only drive to go get things and take people, right? Like otherwise, if I'm going shopping, I need to drive or I want to drive. But if I'm going anywhere for dinner, lunch, I'm going to Uber because parking's going to be a pain. I don't have to pay attention, and it's relatively cheap. It's probably cheaper than owning a car.
Probably.
With the amount that
For me personally, which is kind of a more unique scenario to most people in LA, it takes 15 minutes for the Uber to get to my house.
Yeah.
So I would Uber more places if that wasn't the case.
You're right.
And that's really the discouraging factor for me. And I'm pretty sure my rating on Uber has gone down just because of where I live.
100%.
People get mad at me just for existing.
Well, because they've got to drive.
Is it raining?
Is it raining? Yeah, I just heard. Boy, you better not.
I swear to God.
It is supposed to rain on Monday.
Really? I just saw on the weather forecast it was all partly cloudy, partly sunny.
Maybe I will it into existence. I miss rain so much.
I don't.
I know you don't.
You can't drive.
Especially
not at Angela's Crest.
Yeah. No, that would not be smart.
So we'll see how this goes. Once we get up there, if anything, it'll be more moisture and more rain.
Yeah.
Once we get to the actual fun driving road. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Anyway, I avoid Uber just because it's not convenient where I'm at. For most people, sure, that's fine. I do think, though, there's something nice about it being your own car.
I think it's an extension of your home. It's your own space. And I mean, seeing some of the concepts that they had, it looks like they're just going to put in they want it to be like a living room environment, which I'm all for. If I can hang out on like a plush couch in my car and go somewhere, that's better than like a 98 Civic's seat covers.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. The thing is though, they showed a little preview of what a Tesla Model 3 would look like with the steering wheel removed. I don't know if you caught that.
I have not seen it, and it's probably bad.
It basically looked like two driver's seats, but without it was symmetrical versus lopsided with one having a wheel and one not. I just can't imagine how a car could consider all of the edge cases to where you would not need to at least have a steering wheel as a contingency plan.
Right, yeah.
I can't imagine it.
Well, even just for emergencies, like what if... No, I would feel safer knowing that I have the ability to take control versus, maybe that'll change in 10 years, but I barely even trust lane assist, even though it's a tried and true method and it really does work. I still want to hold on to the wheel because I'm not... there's been enough cases where it's like, all right, there's people who have to take control of the wheel and change lanes or whatever. It's not bad, but I wouldn't feel comfortable right now getting in a car that did not have any way for me to actually interfere with whatever's going on.
And much less as I need to save myself from imminent danger, and more like what happens when I get to my house on a narrow street. How does it know exactly where my garage entry is? And does it just stop in the road until I open the garage? Does it link into that and then just know to open the garage? What if I want to turn around and just park on the street and not in the garage?
Does it know that I have a dip and I need to approach at 45-degree angle?
No, definitely. How is it going to know that?
It's going to go straight into it. So it's like, you're right. That's not even an edge case. That's just everybody has a different driveway and everybody has a different, access point. What if I get to I guess you wouldn't need to valet, it would just find parking itself. But you're right. The destination is a problem no matter where you go.
If you're going to a place where you're just staying for a few hours, then the car can go drive around and parallel park somewhere.
Right.
But then, if that becomes what every car does, there will be no street parking anywhere ever, because it'll all be inundated by self-driving cars who take that as their first priority. And then, the other part that really worries me is that they're going to have an Uber competitor that rolls out with the Tesla self-driving, and
they're not going to link with each other, so they're going to have problems, right?
Not that I'm worried about more cars on the road all the time. Because the car, it never gets off the road. It's always driving, and you all of a sudden, now once this becomes like full adoption, imagine every car on the road never parking. It's always driving.
Okay, but here's the counter argument is if every car is linked into a system, hopefully they're all linked together. We know it won't be like that. It'll be like T-Mobile and Verizon or whatever. If every car is talking to each other, then there's not going to be traffic because every car is driving at the optimum speed and distance, etc.
Oh yeah, but that only happens once you have like full 100%. No one is behind the wheel anymore, and you can only drive on track.
Right. So. Yeah, I totally see that, but I think I read an article that showed that the wear and tear of having your car drive around, if it's fully electric, for an hour, or even gas, I think, is less than paying for parking, pretty much in any city. So like, I get the idea from the owner's side of being like, hey, this is a good idea, but you're right, when you're transitioning between fully autonomous and not, it's like, all right, well...
it's just, I think there's going to be a ton of traffic. There's going to be so many more cars on the road, and as long as people are still able to drive themselves, there's going to be
people that are making traffic happen.
Yeah.
You know what? It's impossible to put more cars on the road in Los Angeles. I say do it.
I disagree with that. I think it is possible.
I want to look at that. Have you seen those backups in like Shanghai, in China, and they last like 3 days?
I don't think that's a normal situation.
It's not, however.
It's happened, and it's worse than here, for sure. And so, thank goodness, I've never dealt with that. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't strive to improve things here, just because they might not be the worst circumstances ever happened in the entire world.
Yeah. Who knows? I'm all for the future, but I just know that it's, it happens with every industry. It's gonna be a race to see who can do it first, and then they're gonna lock out their competitors, and then like if every car is trying to talk to each other and your car can't talk to the other one and say, hey, there's a parking spot that I'm leaving here, like there's gonna be anti-consumer business practices that aren't gonna help the situation at all. It's just like the way things go.
I think everyone will be incentivized to at least have their cars be able to communicate with each other in the future when it becomes full autonomy.
What about iMessage and Android?
Sure, I'm sure there will be some things that are incompatible, but it's in everyone's interest to allow the cars to be able to communicate for distances and stoplights that won't exist anymore because everything will just kind of merge together.
No, I don't mean that they won't communicate in terms of like, hey, I'm next to you, right? Uh-huh. But I mean in terms of like, if your Tesla is leaving a parking spot and it sends a ping to its network and it says parking spot open to the Tesla network, but doesn't ping anybody else's, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I don't think that that's a bad thing. I just think that it's not for the greater good. It's for Tesla owners or whoever the hell.
There will obviously be perks to owning every particular kind of car. Every manufacturer wants you to buy theirs, not someone else's. But we'll see. Only time will tell. Yeah. For now, I'm just worried about all the cars being on the road at all time, and maybe once it actually rolls out, that won't be as big of an issue as I think it's going to be. But there are going to be all these cars wandering like chickens with their heads cut off, not knowing what to do. Once they have reached their destination, how do they decide to move to the next thing? Do they flip a U-turn? What determines how long a car feels is acceptable to stop in the road in order to pick up a passenger?
Yeah.
Like, a human can kind of, and oftentimes poorly, make that decision themselves as to, is this right lane okay? Am I obstructing too much traffic? Will the self-driving car be able to make that determination? And if the passenger doesn't show up for
30 seconds, how long?
Does it move along?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of, there's somebody in the comments right now being like, well, AI will solve all of that. It's like, well, I don't think we have the level of sophistication.
There are emotional decisions that go into that.
How do I feel?
Well, it's like, am I being a nuisance to other people, which you hope that like an Uber driver would be considering when making their decisions. I don't like the fact that I just had to run the wipers.
Neither do I.
Right now. And I think it's more of a mist than an actual rain. But
I mean, we are in the clouds, but it's not slippery.
I don't know if it's been going like this for much of the night or if it started this morning.
I trust your judgment.
It might not be as engaging a drive as if it were bright and sunny as in the past few times I've been here, but
we're in that typical Los Angeles spring where it's going to be foggy and overcast until noon, and then it's going to be sunny, and you're like, wow, I didn't even know.
Last June I was so depressed because I don't think the sun showed for the entire month. That June gloom was a real.
Really?
Yeah. Do you remember that?
No. I remember it raining a ton in the winter that year, or last year.
No, last year was no rain.
Was it the year before that one? Yeah. I mean, I moved here for a reason. Half of it was for the weather.
Yeah, but you came from
Baltimore.
Oh, I thought I was talking about when
Portland.
Yeah, and that's rainy as heck. If you like rain.
See, here's the thing with Portland in the Northwest. It it does in fact rain almost every day, but it doesn't rain, and it doesn't rain all day. It like sprinkles for an hour, and then it's sunny. So it does rain every day.
You like the 100% like on or off?
Yeah, I like thunderstorms.
Okay.
And like heavy rain. Anything else is a pain in the ass. Whoa, that's cool. Like 1920s bug thing.
Oh, I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Every now and again, you'll see Jay Leno coming up here in something fancy.
I mean, that thing was that was like one of the oldest cars I think I've seen on the road. It had
really?
Giant, like almost like a wagon wheels kind of thing.
I managed to miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, when was it? Over the summer, end of summer. No, this was more recent than that. This was probably like 3 months ago. Came up and Jay Leno had taken his F1 up.
Oof.
Yeah. Just left it parked in the Newcomb's lot as he went and grabbed some food. It's like that's just $20 million just sitting out there in the parking lot.
You know, I like to think that he has that insured well enough, you know, through Jay Leno means that he can do that. He can afford to not really be that nervous around it.
I think when you have that many cars
and that much money,
you kind of just do whatever.
I mean,
you're probably not as worried. And I don't like. There's pretty. It's not very likely someone's gonna ding your door in that car, especially at a place like where we're going.
Yeah.
Where it's gonna be mostly car and bike enthusiasts.
I mean, I know for a fact that pretty much every time you park next to something that's worth more than a Corolla, most people are just a little bit more most people are a little bit more careful. But if I would actively avoid parking next to that F1. I would actually wait for him to leave before I backed out. I'd be like, I'm not.
I don't want to look like the guy who purposely tried to get close to that car.
Yeah.
I see. There's definitely a little bit of moisture on the road.
There
up here.
is.
So, there's another Mark II 991 GT3 RS, which apparently is a lot better.
Really?
Yeah. From everything that I've seen, the numbers that those things have put down on tracks, it seems to be a big improvement over this one. So that could be
that's the next upgrade.
Next step. Either that, or I'll just be an idiot and go get a 2 RS and do that as a daily driver.
Man, the 2 that car when they announced it. They announced it at E3, right? Or they unveiled it at E3. Yeah. I was looking at it, and already I knew that, it was probably all sold out from people that got...
It wasn't, though.
It wasn't?
No. So Porsche, this is one thing that I'm not a fan of with the dealership networks. They just charge way over MSRP for things.
Right.
So you don't need to... There are certain people who are Porsche VIPs who, got the 918.
Yeah.
But then... For everyone else, if you want it, you can have it as long as you're willing to pay.
Right.
So I went into the dealership and asked, "Hey,
how much?"
Well, I didn't know about the ADM thing at that point.
Okay.
And so I was like, "It's probably unlikely, but have you guys got any allocations for a 2 RS?" The guy goes, "Yeah, we're gonna do like a bidding process starting at double MSRP." And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna not do that."
Yeah, you get markup is just like one of those more unfortunate things from dealers. But I mean, you almost expect Porsche to do that themselves if they had a direct to customer, or maybe just increase the price of the car. Like, do you think that they take into factor the fact that they know that the dealers are going to do some markups, and they just say, hey, we expected this, that's why we priced it.
Mark it up more. It's a situation where with Porsche, because they have so much volume that they push with their other models, like the Panamera, the Macan, the Cayenne, that if they were to go to the dealers and say, hey, you guys can't go over MSRP, which is what, like Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, they have to sell at MSRP, the dealers can say, all right, we're not going to bulk order your Panameras and Macans anymore.
Yeah.
So
they are, but that is a luxury that you have when you're a small volume car maker. Is you can say, hey, we're not going to give you the car then, and then that's that. But man, they do kind of have them by the balls, huh?
I know.
That
really
sucks. Do. Ooh, look at this fog.
I'm hoping that we get above this.
I was gonna say it is real low today.
So there's a chance, and boy, that would be cool if we just have a moment where we escape the clouds. But this isn't ideal. I've been up here once before when it was like this. It actually started raining though.
Oh yeah.
So far we're a little better than that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not the most ideal conditions out here.
What do you mean? We got the beautiful view of this Genesis in front of us, I think, with a meaty spoiler
in front of it.
Yeah, and then
that's a meaty like boot replacement right there.
I always love it. It looks like when you were playing Need for Speed and you got just enough money to upgrade just the hood or whatever, so you got the carbon hood and the rest of the car was just like a normal color.
He's added some camber to his wheels as well, for sure. And it's
a little negative camber never hurt anybody.
It's not like wild camber that you sometimes see on
he is not a part of Stand Station.
Degrees, which just ruins your tire within. I can't imagine how often you have to replace tires when you're running a camber that's like 45 degrees.
I'm willing to bet that most of them don't replace their tires as often as they need to.
Well, probably. Because you probably actually need to replace it after like 500 miles.
Right.
on a tire that's probably supposed to last like over 10,000 miles.
You know what they do? They just flip it upside. They just flip the tires.
Yeah, you could rotate it.
Yeah. Wait, that wouldn't solve any problem.
No, you would like pivot it around or something, or bring it to the other side of the car.
That's how they do it. Yeah, I get 1,000 miles out of every wheel.
I mean, I really want the Cup 2Rs. I can't put them on this car though, and this is the only car that they're available for at the moment. But they're on their way for the Pista, and I'm hoping that by the time I take delivery, they'll be available, because those things should be so good. But only really if Michelin's willing to send me them, because they're
pretty expensive. Yeah,
they're $1,000 a tire, and they're supposed to last about 2,000 miles.
That's like the worst thing. I mean, I'm assuming you would not go through the trouble of removing them and only using them in special occasions.
No.
Yeah, that's too much work.
Yeah, and also it'd be cool to have them on a drive like this. I thought for a second my engine was making a weird noise, and then I realized it was him.
Oh.
I was like,
You're
I
right.
don't sound like this.
Yeah. My favorite is when nobody uses the turnoffs.
Oh God. 2 weeks ago I was up here and ended up behind these two people on motorbikes, and they were going at a slightly faster rate than just the average cruiser car, like the Subaru is going, but not very fast overall. But they refused to pull over. There were cars pulling over in front of them, and they were going by. Oh, we might be escaping the clouds in a bit here.
Little sun.
Yeah.
This is gonna be beautiful.
But I was like, you give them some time,
right?
So that it's like, okay, maybe they don't realize you want to get by, but after or they're waiting for a good opportunity to get to a good turnout. After a while, you're like, they're deliberately being dicks, and so you get up close, just to ensure that they know you want to get by. And still, the entire time, it was about halfway of the entire trip down the mountain.
Wow.
They just wouldn't. They wouldn't move over.
You know what I like? I feel like everybody is driven behind somebody like that, and what I think it may be is that they feel like they are driving performance level, or like they're like, well, this is as fast as anyone's gonna go, so I don't. You know what I mean? They're like, why should I have to pull over? I'm already doing, the maximum.
Oh, this guy, he was doing some MotoGP body shifting moves, going like 40 miles an hour.
Look, you got to get every single piece of grip. You can get every single piece. If you're not leaning, going into the Wegmans, you're not leaning at all.
I'm like, look, that's cool, dude. If that's what, you should do what makes you happy, but know that you're not the fastest person on the road, and just let someone by.
It's okay.
It's not that hard.
It's all right.
All right.
Passing lane ahead. I guarantee you this Hyundai is going to pass too. All right, let's see. Yes, sir. We are definitely going 25 miles an hour.
Absolutely. Hey, speed limit's like 40 on this road.
You're right.
Okay?
Those wiggly signs are actually just a suggestion.
That was bad timing.
Nothing we could have done.
Nope. They just finished up with their photo shoot session of the beautiful clouds that were about to be. Oh my God, this is great.
That's what I was gonna say. This is actually all right. It's saved,
dude. Wow. Oh man, yeah, we're above the clouds. This is sick. Except it'll be a little bit better once we hit the turn off onto the next road, because Angeles Crest is generally pretty busy with cars,
especially on the weekend. Although I am surprised we've only seen just that other GT3. We haven't seen very many other people going for them.
Maybe they were like, it's looking a little foggy out.
Joke's on them. Persevere and you get this.
Absolutely. It's just going to be a sea of fog out there as we look out. No actual view. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in this specific circumstance. Actually, when I drove to, I drove to Portland and back. When I moved there and back, 15 and a half hours each way, just straight with my dog. It was terrible.
You didn't stop? Oh my God.
Because I was like, if I stop, that's an 8-hour drive and a 7-hour, that's rough. I'm just going to send it.
Thank you.
What a hero.
Most people are good about it.
So I'm driving, and when we get to Oregon, the like northern California into Oregon, it's just like this impasse. It's basically like this with a bunch of giant trees and whatever, and it was the winter time, so it's foggy and shit. God, it was so beautiful and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
Like you just feel so uncomfortable because you can't see anything below, and you just know it's a death trap. You know, you're gonna die if you drive off there.
Yeah. If I can't see more than a few feet in front of me, I'm pretty conservative.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more conservative than many people in the groups that I go with, who will just, under any circumstance, they're just hauling ass.
Full send.
And until now, they've been fine. I'm just not quite as comfortable with that.
Yeah.
There was this time probably 4 or 5 months ago, kind of after, it was after the fires. There had been some rain, but it was a clear weekend.
Right.
And there was so much debris on the road over in like Malibu, Agora Hills area.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, let's just go quick. And meanwhile, I'm just holding back, kind of holding up people who are still in our group, but behind me, because I'm like, I just don't want to be dinging the hell out of my car on all these rocks that are in the road.
Yeah.
And some people are just like, whatever.
I mean, or they have that. I don't know how good the clear coat can protect, but like at a certain point, there's only so much you can do.
It's denting the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just kind of grazing off of the paint or the clear bra.
Yeah.
So, and those were denting kind of rocks. So it wasn't. But hey, you know what? People are more comfortable than I am.
Yeah. There's ski areas over here?
I mean, if you keep going, you end up at Mountain High.
Oh, I was like, didn't think it was this close.
So the only bummer is that this road ends up having a few more cars on it than usual because there's a road closure up ahead.
Yeah.
Fortunately, there's a hiking area before that, so I think a lot of people are just going there.
Gotcha.
But you end up having a few more people on this road than usual. So.
That's when you know you're on a good road when it says chains may be required. You know, you're like, oh, yeah. Good. It's gonna be a fun
Watch
one.
for icy pavement next 25 miles, but they're all permanent signs. They're
yeah. Oh no, they don't change. Nobody comes out and changes these. You know. That is so cool.
And
there you go.
This is my favorite road in the entirety of LA, which is, I guess, most all driving roads that I've been on, because I haven't done many driving roads other places. So this might just be my favorite.
I mean, we were talking about it before we got in, but like the amount of times I watch one takes from the the smoking tire, Matt Ferrara, it's like I've seen this road and virtually driven it in my head a lot. Never actually been on this road before, and good God, what a road! It's so pretty.
I'm just hoping that we get somebody pulls over up here. Fingers crossed. That would be a good spot to do it. But
look at that wide shoulder, man.
I have, on the other hand, though, and I feel badly when this happens, I've had people who pull to the side on me in like an awful kind of ditch.
Like right here. Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh God, don't do that. And they don't even slow down for it. They like take their normal speed and go to the side. I'm like, oh God, you're damaging the heck out of your car right now. I didn't want you to do that. Just find a safe place. It's fine.
I feel like there's pressure when you're in front of the car. I know my mom, back when I was living in Baltimore in like the suburbs, she would, there would be a nicer car behind us, and she would get actually well, I gotta pull over. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, why are you panicking? It's okay. He's not gonna like run you down. It's, just do it at your convenience.
Well, I wish more people were kind of in the middle of your mom and not pulling over at all. Because you never know. Unfortunately, this section doesn't have many great turnouts.
Yeah.
So there's a chance we might just not have good luck here.
But hey, look, we got this Caravan in front of us, the Dodge Caravan, classic American minivan. Everybody knew somebody who had one.
I do know somebody who had one growing up.
It was like the...
They had 4 kids.
Yes.
So it was doing its job.
Yep. Many.
So you got a C43, right?
Yes, I have a C43, and I love it.
You do?
I upgraded from a C300, and before that I had a 2006 Pontiac Grand Prix with 300,000 miles on it. So,
I'm
my
so
God.
glad that we did not go fast.
Holy shit.
What do I do, actually?
You want me to get out and move some?
Maybe.
Yeah. Let's do it. Well, I gotta... Holy... How do you open this door?
Just pull the tab. Yep, there you go. Momentary intermission here. This is great. Doing a public service here. Making the roads safer for other people. Good job. Who was honking?
She was honking at... I was saying that too. She was honking at the motorcycle to not hit me.
Oh, okay. I thought she was mad, and I'm like, how could you be mad at someone doing a public service?
No, she said thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Me too. I was like, what do you mean? Wow, good thing, huh?
Damn.
That was probably the worst mini slide I've seen.
Yeah, I've actually never run into that situation in any of my drives, so good thing we got caught behind some cars there, or I'm not sure if I would have gotten that in time. That would have done some damage. Those were like rip off the front of your splitter damage rocks. Well, now we're gonna be stuck behind a few cars for sure, but I feel like
it's vindicated.
Happy. Yeah. How was that? That was some good exercise.
I'm breathing a little heavy. Those were some heavy rocks, man. It was like 10-pound rocks.
That was like me when I get to my front door after somebody rings it, and I've just run up the stairs, and I try to play it cool and not be out of breath, but really I have to catch up. And they must think it's so weird. They're like, why are you having trouble talking right now?
It's like, listen, I'm not, man. What do you mean? Just doing calisthenics. It's like, oh, man. Yeah. Quarter mile to the turnout.
Well, I think we're behind a good group of people now, so we're not going to have much of a chance of actually getting a good run on this stretch, which is sad because this is my favorite one.
This is a great one, yeah.
But there is another road that we end up on after this, and that's also pretty good. And we have the down run too, so hopefully we'll get lucky there.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we hit that rock slide, so you like your C43 upgrade from the C300?
Right. And my lease is up in about a year, and I can upgrade if I stay within Mercedes family 6 months early, as long as I keep the same model or upgrade.
Okay. And
my problem here is that I really love the C43 that I have, and in general, I really love it. They nailed the sporty enough, but not over the top or not too much for daily driving. It's quick. It's and I like it, but always in the back of my head, there's that thing calling, and it's like, hey, so what about the C63? Like, what about why not just buy the car that you want now? Like, why not upgrade? And then the other side is like, well, you only drove 6,000 miles in 2.5 years. Like, that's not enough. And I daily it. That's not enough to justify having something sit and depreciate in my driveway. So, love the car. Don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
Do you have any issues with the traction control in that car?
So no, but the transmission. So when you're in second gear in Sport Plus, it can get kind of grabby. It's rare that I'm ever hooning it unless I'm driving like Mulholland. But it can get kind of grabby where it won't know if it wants to upshift, and this is only an automatic. It won't know if it wants to upshift or downshift. Yeah, because I only paddle when I'm on Mulholland or whatever. It's an uncomfortable feeling because it'll jump and lurch forward while it's trying to figure out which gear it wants to go into, stay in second, high, or shift to third. That's the only real problem not even a problem. It's the only real unfortunate and thing that I don't like about it.
So you don't find that when you go around a sharp corner and try to accelerate out, it's like, nope. Okay, now you can have some power.
Yes, but See, wait. Did you have that problem with your C63?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just kind of thought that was because I don't have the sport version of. I mean, it's an AMG, but it's light. It's not the C63 is like the standard entry, you know, AMG that they have. So they just made this one.
Oh no, the C63.
The C63, yeah. Okay, wow, great.
It's that if you turn off the traction control, then most likely, and I don't know this for sure.
Not Heroes.
No. Not a hero.
Not a hero. So yeah, I did notice that, but again, way to ruin everything. I mean, can't believe it.
Sorry to make your dreams just be completely shattered.
Well, you know, like, I've been toying around with the idea of the 2020 Supra. I want to drive it at the very least. I personally think, I've seen it in person, I think there are some spec options that make that car look really good, and there are some that just make it look like a fat clown shoe, right? Like the right color and accenting and the interior, and even, you know, I've even seen somebody just put a traditional Super Wing on the back of it, and it looked incredible. I was like, wow, that's all they needed to do, huh? In my opinion. Yeah, so I like it, but I don't know if I'd like it enough to buy one, especially a first-gen car.
I'm just disappointed that
I am
after
very
they
disappointed.
did the FT1.
That was, yes.
Why can't you just make it look like that?
Well, the big problem, I don't mind, the rear is fine, they just need to change the tail lights a little bit, but the front, it's just because they made the FT1, they released it, it's wide body, it looks good, they've got that huge like nose, and then they just made it small and tiny and sad, and then put the license plate on the front of it, and I was like, God, you really didn't do anything like the prototype that you showed off.
I think it's because they didn't want it to compete too much with Lexus. Because if they had made that car look as good as it did, then the LC500 would be something that no one would be interested in. So I think it's that versus it actually not being something.
Wait, no, I don't know about that, because don't they appeal to two different people. You have the Supra, which is going to be your standard sportier version. The LC500 is like a tourer. It has rear seats,
but I mean, they don't want their lower priced car to look better than their high end car.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, or have more tunnel run.
Yep. I like this one. Sorry, I should have rolled the windows down there.
Well, we'll get on the way back. Yeah,
we will.
Man, that's that tunnel, and then the ones going up towards Glendale. We need more.
There's like a tunnel area way far up on Angeles Crest.
Yeah.
There are also, if you drive on Canaan and Agora Hills, there's some nice tunnels out there.
I've not gone there.
Okay, that's just if you're connecting 101 to Malibu.
Oh, got you.
Pretty highly trafficked route. I think you should go AMG GTR if you're wanting to stay within Mercedes.
I don't think I would go the GTR just because it's like, price point wise, it's just a little much. I could get the regular GT, although I haven't driven either of them. I do think the GTR looks better with all the accoutrement on it, you know, all the extra bodywork and stuff. And the GTS is probably going to be a nice middle ground, but it doesn't look any different. It's either, if I was to go in that price bracket, it would be probably the GT or the I really like the 2019 Aston Vantage. Like, okay. I think that, so they have the Mercedes interior.
You would be sticking with Mercedes.
I would.
Through proxy.
Which I kind of like. They've got the V8, which is from the GT, and I do like the look of it. I know that a lot of people don't like the duckbill back end.
I like the back.
You don't
I'm
like
not
the
as
grill?
big on the front. Just the headlights. They're too small.
Yeah, I
agree. It's a very large blank space on that front hood.
I agree. So I think, but I do think that if I did go down that route, I could see myself grabbing maybe not grabbing, but like, there's probably a hood that could have a little bit of character to it. It's just a big flat hood. It doesn't have vents on it, you know, just like the, what is it? The DB9 has these two like front facing vents, I guess. I don't know. Just have something on the hood. Oh no. Oh my God.
This is no bueno.
No.
I've never seen so many cars turn out in front of me.
Where are you guys going? Where's this Grand Carriage? Like, are you lost?
Well, no, it's because Crest has a closure. This is the way around the closure.
Oh, look at the shoehorn, or the clown shoe.
I love those.
They're quirky. I mean, that's like the Supra. It looks like that. It's just,
it's like they're like mini Ferrari FFs.
I do love the FF.
Really?
Yeah. Some for shooting brakes have like a special, like I guess a place in my heart. Like the Panamera, I love too. So the FF, just to me, it's just like a longer hood. It kind of reminds me of like a Batmobile.
Yeah, that's cool. I think the Lusso looks even better, which has now replaced the FF. It's just, if I'm going to get a Ferrari, I want it to be more exciting. If I had infinite garage space and I wanted to have something like that, sure, but while it's still not, you know...
Like pseudo-practical Ferrari is what it is, you know? They're like, we'll give you truck space. It's like, all right. Are they making an SUV?
They are.
What do you think about the Urus?
It looks cool for an SUV, but SUVs never do it for me.
No,
they
I agree.
all look the same in one way or another.
Yeah.
And the Urus is just
Urus.
It's
I have no idea.
Like an STI.
I got the Urus, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a big Q7. It's a Bentayga.
Yeah.
It is that same platform, and knowing that, I'm just like.
Yeah, Audi's making a killing on it. The Cullinan's on that platform too, isn't it?
No, Cullinan's BMW.
Oh, okay. The X5 or whatever.
BMW makes Rolls, and Volkswagen makes Lambo, Audi, etc., Bentley. So those are different. I also, though, with the Cullinan, it's like you can get those up to $450,000, $500,000, and I'm just
I think the grill on that is like one of the few SUV grills that gets it right, because like, you know, Rolls has always had that traditional like gate grill. Mm-hmm. It just looks good on an SUV.
It looks very authoritative. I'll give them that.
It is a
large. It's assertive. It's in charge. Just again, not something that I would be interested in having myself. Also, wouldn't fit in my garage. It would just hit the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild too. You look at it like that's a $250,000 SUV, and for all intents and purposes, it really is not that special. All of those, you know, like think of all the fun cars. It's practical. It's for the person that wants to haul their 4 kids and be sporty.
It makes the deal of the century is the Q7.
Yeah,
because you're basically getting that slightly detuned, not quite as nice an interior trim, but
the badge.
Same platform.
But the badge.
Yeah, dude. Look, I know someone who has a Urus in the group of people that I go with driving on a regular basis. He took it out to the track last time I was at the track.
Yes.
And he loves it. So there must be something to it. I haven't driven the car, so I can't really speak to it. It's just from like a concept and looks perspective, it doesn't really do it for me. But who knows? Maybe I get
looks like a Hot Wheels, you know?
Yeah, maybe I get behind the wheel and be like, oh shit, this is where it's at.
Yeah.
All right. I forget everything I said. I don't have to angle driveways, and I can still go fast. Yes, please.
I mean, yeah, that is the draw there. It's like you don't have to care about going on. I just hate that every time a new car in that category gets debuted, they have like a long extended segment on how capable it is off-road, as if a single one of those people is going to say like, hey, I'm going off-roading in my Bentayga. Like, no, you're not. You're not doing that. Scratching the paint.
I hope that they all move to the side at the passing lane ahead up here. And hopefully
survey says.
We'll see. I have to pass 3 cars.
Oh, the run.
And it's not a long passing lane area. We'll see. We're gonna get some zooms up here in just a minute as I hopefully make it.
Sorry, I'll cover the camera.
But don't worry, there's nothing on the speedo which would only be going within the speed limit.
Well, I mean naturally. No, I meant passing. This is a long passing lane. What do you mean?
Yeah, I didn't realize. I thought it was one of the shorter ones. I have driven this route a bunch, but it all ends up kind of blending together and looking the same.
Yeah. I mean, they do. You know, when is the last time you've seen this so green? Like, the amount of rain we've had, it's so green out here.
I know, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So much so that you have all the people on Instagram who are, like, going out to Lake Elsinore where all the poppies are and apparently trampling the fields.
Yeah, just laying on the flowers for the first time in 10 years. They bloomed, like, you know, to that capacity. Super bloom or whatever the hell.
Yeah, I think they had to shut down certain areas because of that.
Idiots.
But it's
just idiots.
It is nice. It is nice. Yeah, Malibu as well. Post fire, it looks beautiful. There's lots of bloom going on there. So it's gonna be a very, very nice looking spring, and then potentially by the time summer rolls around,
a great fire season. Good fire season.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
In the bad capacity.
And it'll all turn brown probably.
Right.
I don't know. We're kind of at a point where I think it's just bad fire danger every year out here, and it angers me to no end when I see someone who just tosses a cigarette out of their car window, especially in places like this or up in the hills near LA, because it's like you know this is wrong, and you still do it anyway. It's like beyond littering. It's arson risk at that point, and you just aren't mindful of that. I don't know. That's one thing where I am sure that there are going to be people who are offended when I say I am angry at them for doing that. But
why? Why would you be offended? It's illegal. It's littering.
It is littering. But I don't know what the perception difference is where people who would normally not litter, somehow they think that when it comes to a cigarette, it's different.
They gotta make biodegradable cigarette butts now, huh? Like they have to.
I have no idea. I haven't looked into it.
I doubt they have.
I have not looked into it. But anyway, we'll not go off on a rant about people throwing their cigarettes out their car windows. Just if you do smoke, that's your decision. Just don't have disposal in your car. It's not that hard.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah, I don't think disposing of a cigarette within your car is that tough. But anywho. Oh man,
I love these like for a small. I'm a skinny dude. You know, you're a smaller guy too. It's like these seats are the perfect bolstering and perfect size for me. 6 feet. It's just like I fit so snug.
These are my favorite seats. At least as far as how they hold you in place.
Right.
I think the GT actually has the most comfortable seats of any car.
Really?
Yeah, which you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
With them being bolted to the carbon frame.
Yeah, you can't move it at all. It's not like you. I mean, I can only imagine the suspension. The ride's pretty harsh on that, even when you're in.
This is the harshest ride of
really?
Any. Yeah. But the seats on this are great for keeping you in place. I think for like track driving.
Yeah.
You don't really have to brace yourself against the side of the car, which is
super
so nice. It allows you to relax a little bit more.
I was gonna say.
In the comfort seats that you get in most of the Porsches, and you can option on this, and I think is a mistake to do. You're having to brace yourself because you're like sliding all over the place when you're going around corners. So it's nice to have these.
That's exhausting.
And this is something I said. I was literally on this road as I made this previous video here, but I was like, that's my dash cam. Fortunately, not part of making this video.
Oh no!
I just push it up there and then flip that thing up.
All right.
It's like,
oh shit!
You hook yourself?
How the hell? All right.
Technical difficulties, ladies.
All right. Well, how do I get this shit
Just
off?
undo it and untangle it.
What do you mean undo it? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
God.
Now you're like having a hard time leaning forward to get to it.
Thanks, brother. All right, we're good.
Boy. It's not like we're not recording the road right now via alternative means.
Well, what if this camera failed?
Yeah, I guess so.
Poor squirrel.
So other than car stuff, anything that you're working on?
I mean, still doing the streaming, still doing the YouTubes and stuff. I got some secret stuff I've been working on. No, it's just same old, same old. I feel like everybody does. I always feel bad when somebody asks me, especially from home, like, so what have you been up to? It's like, well, same thing I've been doing the last 5 years.
That's exactly what I've been saying.
You know? Not that it's boring or anything, but I've definitely gotten it down to a science a couple years ago, and now it's just, we've been on autopilot for the most part and just scheduling stuff. But
autopilot while still trying to work behind the scenes on new interesting things?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But no, I've been just enjoying myself. I just came back from Coachella last weekend, which was a dusty experience, to say the very least.
I have a question.
Yes.
The bandanas that everyone wears, is that functional?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Almost necessary.
Huh.
Like, because we're talking like 30, 40 mile an hour gusts of wind, and you're in the desert, even though there's grass, so you got debris and stuff. I mean, without glasses and a bandana on the last 2 days, I would have been miserable.
I had always thought that was a style
fashion
thing. Yeah. I was just like, oh, that's the Coachella look, dude.
No. Flower crowns, that's style.
Okay.
But, the bandana, not so much.
I've still never been to a music festival. It doesn't seem like something that would interest me. And obviously you get like the artist pass and you have all access. But even then, I'm in this, it feels like you don't win either way. Because either I'm in a mess of people and feeling uncomfortable and claustrophobic, or I'm like in a tent behind the scenes. And in that case, I'm like, well, I'm not really there enjoying what it has to offer.
No, so yes, it's definitely not for everyone. I mean, long ago, I used to be able to go, when this festival would open, and then I'd stay there until it would close. Yeah, that's a lot of music and a lot of standing and a lot of dancing and a lot, it's like 8 hours, 10 hours. Now it's like, I go for like 4 hours and then I go home. Okay. And then, you're right.
Wait, so when you say home, hotel there?
Hotel, or wherever. I actually don't travel very often for music festivals. It's basically EDC. And that was my first Coachella, but even those are local. Like, I will never...
That was your first Coachella?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So even those, like, I don't want to travel, but when you go, the artist, band gets you into VIP or even, like, front of house, so you can stand in the crowd, but not touching anybody, you know what I mean? So it's not like, it's definitely not the same experience as being in the middle of the crowd, but it's not like I have to stand behind the speakers and not listen to the music,
Sure. So you're just kind of jamming out behind those safety railings at the very front of the crowd?
Yeah. or I mean, like, in the sound booth area where the sound engineers are and stuff. Which is nice because, they have the best sound in the house.
That is true.
In front of the house.
It's also probably loud, isn't it?
I mean, earplugs. Gotta wear hearing protection.
Okay. Most people, are they wearing hearing protection or not?
It's probably like 15%.
Okay. We're going to have a whole generation of people who can't hear.
Or no, more like tinnitus.
Okay. I get ringing in my ears every now and again. I don't think it's tinnitus, though.
No, that happens to everyone, I think. That happens to me, too.
Okay. Little do I know, in 10 years I'm going to have hearing problems just from listening to music at the gym too loud in my headphones or something.
Well, how else do I have to, I got to drone out the guy grunting in the background,
God, I love it when I hear people at the gym who are just not lifting extreme amounts of weights and they make such loud noises.
It's extreme to them, Jordan.
I'm not insulting anyone. It's just you don't need to be making those noises. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I guess maybe it helps you feel like you're getting more energy out there, but I don't know.
I can promise that the most noise I will make is an exhale of air.
I've probably made some louder-ish noises if I'm actually going for a weight that's heavy for me.
Right.
But never like a,
just like a tennis player.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thankfully. I mean, that doesn't really happen too much, but the gym I go to is in Hollywood, so you get some people that are a little bit more look at me.
It's interesting how you get less people at your gym when Coachella's going on.
It is. That is. People think it's funny, but like Coachella's the best thing that happens to Los Angeles because the traffic is so non-existent. It's like it's a holiday.
It really is.
It is wild to me how few people are here because it's like 90,000 people and they're all driving themselves.
90,000.
Yeah.
Actually, isn't that less than PAX? Does PAX get like 100,000?
I think it's like 50,000.
PAX is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Comic-Con's like 150.
Geez, that much bigger than Coachella.
Yeah.
Is that that's not because of demand, it's just because of venue capacity?
I would imagine so. Yeah, Coachella sells out. So, and same with Comic-Con. Yeah, it's just all about venue and like surrounding areas. Because I mean, look, you're going into Palm Springs and Indio, so like the Motel 6 is $450 a night.
Holy, really?
Yeah, and Airbnb is like $1,000 a night for a 3-bedroom, and that's like 40 minutes away.
40 minutes away.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it must take ages to just get into the show, though, doesn't it?
Wouldn't know. I had artist transpo.
So what does that do? Is that like a helicopter?
No, God, no. That is true for EDC, but for Coachella, you just go through the artist entrance. So they drive you to the artist lot, you get out, and you just walk through, and there's no waiting.
And there's not traffic created by additional people coming in?
Maybe a very finite amount, but not really.
Oh, that's nice.
Because it's a different entrance.
Gotcha.
Excuse me, and everything.
All right, yeah, Tucker gets that VIP treatment, though.
I do. I mean, you know, it like, I'm not ashamed to say it, but I don't think there's, you know, I've been to enough music shows and festivals and stuff now that there's really no reason or desire that I have for me to just go, you know, pay my way and go normally. And it's not because I'm like, oh, I must have it. It's just that, like, I've been afforded the luxury so much.
Sure.
That, you know, anything else is a disappointment. It's like if you ate steak every day and then somebody was like, here's a McDonald's hamburger. You might be like, it's all right.
Oh, what you got against McDonald's, dude?
Nothing. I actually like it. It's pretty high tier.
I'm kidding. I haven't actually had McDonald's in ages.
I was going to say.
I end up with chicken nuggets once a year.
Really?
It's sort of how it goes, yeah. Oh, man, it is real not crowded out here today.
Wow. Yeah, you got a
GT3.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got a couple Porsches.
Usually there's some Porsches up here always. It's kind of the go-to car.
I was gonna say, I think
Notice?
we've seen four Porsches, and I don't think I've seen anything else.
Yeah, Porsche is, you'll notice when it comes into like motorsports enthusiasts, it's what most people end up going for.
Yeah.
And I get that now that I own one. It's a good car. It's a fun one to be in.
I mean, I can imagine. Why else would you have it?
Well, I mean, you don't always know until you actually own it. So
You're right.
This is one where I can like safely say, I think, that in the future I'll stick with having a 911 as a daily driver.
Right.
Versus in the past, it's like, oh, what am I going to go to after this car?
No, you think this is a permanent one? You're locked in?
Not necessarily this particular car, but at least a 911, whether it's a 3RS or a 2RS,
yeah.
or if I ever felt like I could deal with manual and day-to-day traffic. I mean, if I ended up getting the Tesla,
Yeah.
And had that, then maybe I would get like a GT3 manual, because then in that case, it's like I can take it out when I know it's not going to be just bumper traffic wherever I'm going. Because it's just not fun to
I was gonna say
be doing this every 2 seconds.
It's a
on
workout,
the freeway.
Jordan, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'd get really imbalanced quads.
I don't know if that would be that big of a problem, you know?
I probably wouldn't.
I feel like you could be okay.
I feel once a week doing that and bumper to bumper traffic would probably be just fine.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right, man. Well, it's been a pleasure.
It has been great. I get out here, I'm walking?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll just...
There are people who bike so far up this. It's really impressive.
Superhumans, man. Well, I guess the ride down is pretty fun.
It must be, but
Yeah.
it's crazy how far up I have seen bikes up here.
Yeah.
So, good on them, but I think walking would not be as fun.
Yeah.
That would be so painful, actually, to walk down this entire thing. At that
I'd like that grate. You're just like,
yeah.
Man, your poor calves, your poor thighs.
You'd be done for like a few days after that at least.
Yeah,
all right. Anyway, Jericho, I'll link his stuff in the description if you feel like checking him out any further.
Do it.
Otherwise, for those of you who already know him, you know where to find him. And hopefully we'll look forward to an AMG GT.
Yes, hopefully. And then I can take you. We'll do the reverse.
Yeah, I'd like that. All right. See you next time.
Bye.